Countdown to the World Day of Prayer. Palestine. History and Historical Palestine.
Hello, it's a joy to be here with you through this medium of recording, to be able to share with so many people on this World Day of Prayer. We're using a service which was put together in 2019 by Palestinian Christian women. Little did we know that we would be holding the service amidst the horror of Gaza, the uncertainty of what is happening on the occupied West Bank, and in the knowledge that some people are still waiting for their loved ones to be returned to them. We face a terrible situation in the Holy Land, and yet we are called, as this service calls us, to bear with one another in love. How is it possible to bear what it seems to be unbearable? Those who are seeing their lives being destroyed, those who see their families being destroyed, those who are fearful for the future of those who are held hostage. So many emotions, and not only in the Holy Land, but throughout the world. The people of Yemen, the situation in Ukraine, those who are conscripted into the Russian army, all sorts of issues facing us all. And let alone the struggle that so many people have in our own society here in Scotland, as the continuing economic climate makes things more and more difficult. And yet, we're to bear it. And when we witness on our television screens what's happening in the Holy Land, well, those of us who have visited there and have friends there, it is almost unbearable. But can you imagine what it is to be one of those families who are forever on the run, never finding a place of shelter, knowing that members of their family have been killed, or what it would be like to have members of your family taken? How can we bear that? Well, I'm quite clear that as I watch and as I listen and as I pray, that people cannot. It has become unbearable. And so in prayer, we have to be the ones who continue to ask that things change, that the unbearable becomes bearable, that the unbearable is changed into something which is loving, something which is caring. A world where genuine peace can be found. The Holy Land is a place which should be the epicenter of peace in the world. It's where the Prince of Peace walked on this earth. And yet for the Prince of Peace to achieve his ultimate aim, which was the salvation of us all, it required him to face the unbearable death, the unbearable pain. We can't imagine that this pain will stop for everyone. But we can pray in love that somehow together, sharing, enabling Christ to live with us, we can bear. We can bear each other up. That we can find ways of enabling our prayers to strengthen others as their prayers strengthen us. It's not possible for me to say, you should bear this, to someone whose life is being torn apart. But I can pray that they bear it, and I can try and bear them up in my prayers. The World Day of Prayer allows so many people to focus, as we focus this year, on the words that we were asked to pray by those Christian women in Palestine. To bear one another in love. Hold those who are suffering in the depth and love of your heart. Hold whatever burden you can so that they may bear this in the knowledge that whatever else is happening, they are never abandoned by God.
أطلب إليك تسلكوا متحملين بعضكم في المحبة وأطلب إليكم أن تسلكوا متحملين بعضكم في المحبة. I urge you to be patient with the calling you receive, bearing one another with love and unity. I urge you to be patient with the calling you receive, bearing one another with
This is
love
part
and
of a
unity.
prayer for peace in Israel and Palestine by Rosemary Berger. Isaiah chapter 11 verse 9. They will not hurt or destroy on all my holy mountain. God of comfort, send your Spirit to encompass all those whose lives are torn apart by violence and death in Israel and Palestine. Let arms reach out in healing rather than aggression. God of justice, give strength to those whose long work for a just peace might seem fruitless now. Strengthen their resolve. Guide religious leaders to model unity and reconciliation across lines of division. Guide political leaders to listen with their hearts as they seek peace and pursue it. God of love, we lift up Palestine and Israel, its people, its land, its creatures. War is a monster that consumes everything in its path. We beg for love and compassion to prevail. God of hope, we lift up the cities, so long divided, yet so filled with life and creativity. Come again to breathe peace on your people, that all may recognize you. God of mercy, all people, Israelis and Palestinians, deserve to live in peace and unafraid, with a right to determine their future together. God of the nations, let not one more child or elder be sacrificed on altars of political expediency. Keep safe all people from unjust leaders who would exploit vulnerability for their own disordered ends. Give wise discernment to those making decisions to pursue peace. Teach all of us to resolve injustices with righteousness, not rockets. Strengthen our faith in you, O God of all flesh, even when we don't have clear answers, so that we may still offer ourselves non-violently for the cause of peace. Amen.